So there's a pair of those for every extension.
Yes. I don't know what these are called. Yeah, they
L
are.
and K.
L and K. That's the traditional. On a PABX 3, it's LS and CO. But the L is the line relay.
Yeah.
So that always sends 50 volts battery and earth out to line.
Yeah.
Looking for a loop on the other end.
When you pick up.
When you pick up. So when you pick up, the L relay operates. That starts the process of triggering a line finder.
Yeah.
Which then looks for one of these.
So it's looking for a free one ready.
Yes.
Hang on. So if I pick.
Yeah. That's ring. That's dial tone.
Oh, that's the warble. Right.
Yes. So it's a vibrating relay. So that's the dial tone being generated, and that's the other posh tones have got a.
Like engaged and.
Yes.
Right.
So that's what happens then is that the condition is extended down to the line finder. The line finder gets about its work,
yeah,
and then pushes one back, and it operates the K relay, which cuts off the. I can't remember whether the L relay releases, but it then holds the condition
right
back.
So it's remembering that you're connected.
Yes. It's for the first step. It's all. That's why it's called step-by-step signalling, because you do everything one step at a time.
And this is before I've even dialed the first number.
This is before you've dialed the first number. You've got a line finder, which is in this case a two-motion selector, so that it actually sorts out which of these is free.
Right. Which I presume would be that one that's lit.
Yes. Yeah.
So if I dial the first digit now,
yes,
the first step is to move up. So let's pick it. Pick a 377. Let's find out. Okay. So
3.
So that's 3.
Right.
And then 7. So it should be 7 across.
Yeah. So where does No, it's 317. So
I was going to say.
Yeah, 317. So or 377. Sorry, sounds like my hotel room. Right. Okay. Now you get. I'm a simplistic big exchange guy.
Yeah.
So when you get down to this level, there are all sorts of tricks to try and make this do more than it's supposed to do.
Yeah.
So therefore, it would normally step up for the first digit, and its second digit, because this would be the final selector, the last 2 digits of the number. No matter how many there are, but the final selector is always the same.
Yeah.
So it steps up, and then the last digit dialed, it steps round.
Right.
Now, this is obviously doing something clever. You see the bank that runs the vertical marking bank at the side here?
Yes, yeah.
It looks like what happens is that when it's level 3,
yeah,
it decides that it's going to change from being a group selector, which is what it starts off as, to a final selector. So it would want to actually do the necessary. Now, because all the numbers, it's only 50 or 100 lines, so it can't do more than a first digit 3.
Yes.
So therefore, but other first digits are in use. So there's probably O and for the operator, and you have 7 and 8 as tie lines that can go off to somewhere else if you want to do some networking. So the post office's standard numbering was O for operator, 9 for
emergency.
No, 9 for the public exchange.
Ah, because you have to go through them first.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. So therefore, why is it 999? Well, it's 999 because in a rural exchange, exactly the same way, when you dial 9 for the main exchange, the 999, the first one's already gone.
Yes, yeah.
Right? And what they do is they arrange for calls, emergency calls from that source to be 99, not 999.
Yeah, it's last 99.
Yes.
What are the extra relays for? And there.
Oh well, it's the control of the. So you've got. Oh dear, don't know.
There's one. The top ones are really protected,
Right.
aren't they?
Now that is the. That's the stepping relay. That is what responds to the dial pulses.
Right. So that lifts the bank.
It does anything that needs doing. So. The cutout in the armature is to improve the operate and release state of the relay. So it makes it much
less
finer.
magnetised. Right, yeah. So it drops off quicker.
Yeah. So you've got that, of course, dials operate at 10 pulses a minute.
Yeah.
Sorry, a second, PPS. I'm getting old. So it needs to be
really quick.
Really quick. And if you need to be quicker, there's another higher speed relay you can use. But the dial pulses, right? So let's go back to the call. You start off by seizing the line finder.
Yeah.
The line finder then seizes the selector in this case, and so the call is still not done anything except return dial tone.
Yes, yes. So there's a line
so
there.
it's. I'm sitting there.
I'm waiting.
Mouth open. Okay. Ready for the first digit. So when you do the first digit, it starts pulsing on that relay A. Now the normal scheme of things is that A operates B.
Right, yeah. Yeah, third on down, yeah.
Right? And then B operates C.
Right, yeah.
There must be a C somewhere.
Just there.
So they're called different things, but there's always an A, B and a C relay. Now the A relay does the pulsing. Because it does pulsing, it can't do anything else.
Yeah.
So it then operates the B relay, and the C relay then holds the whole caboodle. So the C relay sticks on this condition coming from relay K, so that K relay holds the whole chain.
So that's just before you've even done anything.
That was the thing. And of course it's quick.
Yeah.
So you know, but of course you don't return dial tone, so you have got a little breathing space.
Yeah. Now, if I remember rightly, they're fuses.
No.
Or just lights?
They're actually they're U-links. They're metal links. Now, if I want to busy that switch out and stop it from working, check that red pig out, red plug out,
right, yes.
and you stick it in that hole.
That little next to it.
You see? So the fuses are up here.
Yeah.
So you've got, I can't remember the...
Reds, yellow, blues, I know, I was the same.
Yeah.
But at least it's colour coded to tell you which one should go where.
Right.
And then you've got a test unit below?
Well, the thing is these fuses are designed to be self-alarming. So when it breaks, the bottom spring goes round on the alarm bar. Where's the alarm bar? Can you see the... There it is. There's
oh, yeah.
metal strip up there. Yeah. That's the alarm bar. And the live terminal, the battery terminal, I mustn't call it live, it's battery, then is connected just to that alarm strip. And the alarm strip is connected to the alarm relay, wherever it is, and that actually sets off the alarm process. Okay. Now, the other thing is, the other safety device that's built in is up there. Now, they're heat coils.
That's like a trippable fuse.
That is a trippable fuse. A slow...
Is that the same as them?
Yes. No, well, it's the same thing, but that's a different purpose. Come to that in a minute. But these green ones are if the magnets, that feeds all the magnets. Each magnet has got a separate feed.
Yep.
And that well, it might not be. I might be wrong there. It depends on how the system works. But that feeds the magnets, and if the magnet if the switch is locked up, and the magnet is held operated, that current through a fixed period of time will actually heat up that heat coil, and the little pin
pops out, so it resets.
Now, because we used to reset them but they were short at one time. The same as we used to repair the fuses.
So you can't lock the exchange up; it just drops out after a while.
And of course, there's an alarm strip on there as well. So therefore, you get what you get is on the top. You'd have a line of at least 3 lights. Yeah. One's a fuse.
You can actually play with it if you pick the phone up and dial. It works. Yeah.
That's quite old technology.
The dial. Hello? Hello. It does all connect.
So, yeah, the technology is a little older than I am. So, yeah, but that's basically. I can't comment on this one because it's got all these tricky bits built in.
So,
right now, that I've never seen, but I'm assuming that it's a telegraph line.
Yeah, I'm going to say coming in on the lines because it looks like.
So therefore, that would be the open wires. Normally, in an exchange, you have these on each line.
Yes, yeah.
On each extension.
I've seen some in the signal boxes up in the top of the corner of the roof for the incoming block controls.
But so in this age, after this age, they gradually became
obsolete.
Yeah, because once they went electronic,
it does the same job for it.
Well, the thing is that you blow it up anyway.
Yeah.
So
replace.
And it's not only that. On a DC electrified railway, earths are an anathema.
Yeah.
So therefore, we used to earth the whole exchange down to the mains earth. Yeah. But you can't do it anywhere else.
Yeah.
But on a DC railway. Everywhere you can only have one earth, and that's the
fine potentials all the way round.
And because one particular exchange, when we connected it, it didn't work. This exchange never had a main earth.
Oh God!
But there's that switch probably goes back to telegraph.
Yeah.
Way before the telephone. These telephones probably date from sort of the turn of the
century.
Turn of the 1900s. So you can go back, this goes back sort of round about that time. And what they did is the phones were damned expensive.
Yeah.
So a box would have one of these and one of those.
Yes.
And the lines to boxes each side.
Yeah.
So because the signalman would just tap up one of the
select which one he wants.
And then he'd go and select them.
Yeah.
Now, particularly in Ireland, the railway telecoms were always contracted to the post office.
Yes.
And the pole line down the railway used to occasionally disappear off into the town and then go
come back.
And come back. I recovered one of those switches, not like that, but a round one, which was exactly that purpose, from somewhere in just up north of the Irish border. I went to the signal box and said, "Oh look, that looks as if it's not any use anymore. Do you still want it?" Out with the screwdriver.
Well, brilliant.
Still got it. That's the job I got the sack from. But that's in the main lines used to get terminated like that in a signal box.
Yeah.
There was one box on the south coast where they actually used to ask the signalman to. It had links.
Reset.
And you could get them to take it out and make a test.
Yeah, I can see them there. So
Well, they're heat coils. You see, and that's the frame that it's on. So they're wider apart than they are.
Yeah.
So when the pin pops,
it drops.
They shoot out. But I've got no idea what this is for. It's not anything.
In the glass case as well.
Yeah. But, Great Western had all these sort of marvellous things. Well, they all did, really. The Midland, but what happened is originally the railways actually were telegraph.
Yes.
No matter what the post office says, the railways actually created telegraph, and that's why you had a public telegraph office on every station.
Yeah.
In 1933, there was an agreement between the Postmaster General and the railway companies under the auspices of the Railway Clearinghouse to actually sort out the whole thing, because originally there were 400 and odd railway companies.
Yeah, there was loads. There was loads.
So before 1923,
before the big amalgamations.
Right, so the post office had an agreement with lots of them, like the Forth Bridge Railway Company to run cables. They had the Severn Tunnel Railway Company.
Yeah.
The Birkenhead Railway, and they had, their separate agreements. Oh, and on top of that, they also had an agreement to carry parcels and letters.
Yeah, yeah.
So this new agreement wiped up everything
into one big pot.
So
when did we separate out into S and T as such?
Right.
Because we were still doing some phone calls for a while.
Hold hard. Go back into history. It was the telegraph department.
Yes.
Which was subdivided
into the S.
Right.
So yeah.
You've got to remember that when anybody says sort of.
Was it only the Great Western that used the separate S and T signs they hung on the boxes? Did any others?
No. They all did it, but it was signalling and telegraph.
Right.
Until the 1st of January 1948. What happened on that day?
BR.
Yes.
Well, amalgamation.
It wasn't BR, because BR didn't start until 1962.
Yeah.
But I wish I could do history.
No, it's pretty good. That's pretty good.
So this is the thing really that they all became signal and telephones or telecoms, and then it went on from there.
Privatisation took it away again,
and then
didn't it?
Privatisation took it all away because we got sold off.
Yeah, Mercury Telecom, I remember that bit.
Yes. Well, Mercury Telecom was BR.
Yeah.
Because BR, first of all, did deals with the Mercury to do the first of the loops.
Yes.
But when they got to finish the figure of 8, they still wanted to go on because the figure of 8 cut back into York.
Yeah.
So there was nothing north of York. So what happened then, of course, they went into joint ventures after that.
Yeah.
And sometimes BR ran it and paid for it, and Mercury used it. It's a bit like Network Rail now. You get places like the Festiniog,
yes,
where Network Rail have a cable
downside, yeah,
and Festiniog have a couple of 4 fibres in it.
The line from Rosslare across to Waterford does the same. It picks up the Atlantic cable coming in.
Does it?
Down the side of the railway. Because I remember the signalman telling me.
Yeah. Well, of course, that goes far back. When I used to work at Hither Green, there was a test hut in one of the tunnels, you know, at the end of my patch, and there was the cable rig painted on the wall, long gone, but there was the Brussels trunks and the Paris trunks. So they came down from London on the railway pole route through this tunnel and then on, and then they went on down past Orpington, and then they took off across country.
Oh, blimey.
So, yeah, because, and of course they were £800 copper, so they were...
Big, thick, drawn copper.
and this cable had special, very heavy pairs in order to carry them through.
Just standard insulators?
Yes, standard insulators, but very heavy
supports.
Copper. And then, of course, came the other thing is that what's happening is that everything was one wire and earth.
Yes, yeah.
Right? Well, when they electrified it with DC, it wasn't good.
Yeah.
So therefore, what they did is they just ran an earth wire, or you know, as a return wire, which again was £800 copper. And when I was an apprentice, most of the work that we had was taking down pole wires and cutting down poles, but I know how to do that.
yeah.
So yeah, this copper rod, that when you cut it
oh my word! I could say it's a fair pound of copper, that.
Yes, yeah, exactly. So whether it ever got back to the scrapyard or not, I wouldn't know.
Probably. I remember checking out some of the H poles around Mazel Grove, and before they dropped them, actually, just to see if they were with an auger, just to see if there was still sound. They weren't by that time.
Yes. But again, you see that a lot of those routes were enlarged for the public network portion of the load.
Yeah, because it made money for the railways.
Yes. Yeah. And of course, going farther back, the Midland Railways telegraph manager, or director, whatever, was Preece.
Yeah.
Right. Well, Preece was also in charge of the post office telegraphs, and he was everywhere.
Yeah.
See? And he invented the Preece block and all sorts.
Yeah.
And he's got his own insulators.
Creepers.
So and he set up the control, the telegraph control at Derby for the Midland Railway.
Right. Good job.
So